All right, boom. We are live with another amazing mind in our wrestling community. And we're here with him today. He was a third place wrestler at the Maryland State Championships back in high school. I went off to college, started a great wrestling club in the area. And he's the founder of Zen Warrior Mindset, which is focused on the wrestlers. Uh, it says mindset. He's Mindset is a big part of it, but it's breathing, technique, sports science. There's a lot behind it, and he'll go over all that with us. But a really good program. And hey, man, Ross Lewin with us today from Maryland. What's up, buddy?
All right, thanks for having me, man. It's good to be
Yeah,
here.
man, I'm really excited to have you on. You're doing amazing things with in the wrestling community with your programs, and I just super awesome. Thanks for reaching out. We do have a coupon code that you'll see in the title. It's Ward Wrestling Live, and that'll get you 25% off anything you purchase today off the website. So, man, go ahead and do that. And I'll definitely share this throughout the platforms while we're live. But, first things first, welcome, Ross, man. I know, are you still physically getting in the gym and coaching right now, or have you kind of turned to business life?
No, all of our coaching has gone virtual for the last 4 months now. I've been working with teams all over the country in getting their ability to breathe properly and regulate their breath as well as their nervous system, so that in times like this, it's really important. But even when you're about to take the mat, there's a lot of really great techniques that are thousands of years old that, elite athletes have been doing at the Olympic level probably since wrestling was invented. But I don't see a lot of it in the youth, high school, even college level. And that is breath work and meditation. They get a bad rap. So I'm a certified meditation and mindfulness instructor. And it's my goal to bring those techniques to kids so that they can have, a more amazing life and have more tools to regulate their nervous systems, regulate their emotions, give them the tools that they need to really control their minds as a wrestler and as a human,
Yeah, so prior to this pandemic, you were physically at these camps and at these clinics and at these gyms. So it's really, so the effect that it's had on you was you just have had to go virtual for right now. Now, will we see you back in these gyms and at these tournaments again as we come out the other side of this?
Yeah, a lot of the work was in person, but the whole time we had resources for them to just put headphones on and listen to guided meditations and guided breathwork sessions. The work that they do is internal, and they do it on their headphones. So it's been pretty easy transition to just go virtual. We were at the Howard County Wrestling Tournament in Maryland in February, and we had 10 wrestlers that we were working with. Of the 10, 8 of them made to the finals, and we had 3 winners. So we were really happy with the group of people that we had in the Howard County, Maryland area. And, I've been doing work with the Howard County Vipers for years now. And my brother and I, who's a co-founder in the business, we're working with the kids to try to get them not only to just relax and enjoy the sport and enjoy the opportunity to be able to compete, but also the breathing mechanics, how to breathe, training your lungs and your mind to match up. It's something that really helps them not gas out. So my issue as a young wrestler was I was going at it 100%. And, I was a great athlete, started in 9th grade wrestling. Didn't have all the technique, but I had, the heart. But what I would do is I would psych myself out, and I would, push it to the limit so far that, first period, I was crushing it, and the second two periods overtime, I didn't have any left in the tank, and it was really frustrating for me. And I found later on in life that there were some really key fundamental breathing mechanic problems that I was just overlooking as a young wrestler. And some of the techniques that I learned from a lot of amazing teachers taught me how to regulate my heart rate, how to regulate the voices in my head, and how to regulate the ability for me to just create an inner environment where I was able to continue to push it. I had this mindset that I know a lot of young wrestlers have, where you think that your endurance is this, depleting resource where, you can't go too hard because if you do, you're going to run out of gas. And all that does is really create a program in your head that says, the harder I go, the more tired I'm going to get. And some of the work that we do now is involved with rewriting that program to say, as the match goes on, I'm getting stronger and I'm getting stronger. And it turns out that a lot of the new sports science coming out actually supports that. So we've been doing a lot of research in some of these scientific studies that have been coming out over the last 10, 15 years. It's relatively new, that shows that, your coaches have always told you warming up is really important, but it kind of goes in one ear and out the other. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're getting warmed up, but they're still thinking like, I can't go too hard because, I got to leave it out there for the match. And there's some sports science coming out that shows that warming up properly is actually what makes your body be able to use that oxygen that you bring in. You bring in plenty of oxygen, more than you actually need. It's getting it from your blood into the cells and tissues of your body that is the issue for a lot of people.
Yeah, I speaking of the breathing, I was watching a lot of the stuff you said. I remember because I was watching Joe Rogan the other day, and he had David Blaine, the magician, on there.
Okay.
The big thing that he talks about is breathing techniques and breathing. This is how he's able to accomplish a lot of these things that he does, as far as going up to almost the atmosphere to jump out of a plane, or hold his breath for 4 minutes or 8 minutes underwater. He said it all started with amazing breathing techniques that he started to train himself on how to do. It was pretty cool. He talked a lot about that. So it's amazing what you're talking about is incredible, because he mentioned you bring the oxygen in, or the CO2, and then you're able to kind of filter your blood or whatever, or get it into there, which kind of opens you up a little bit and gives you room to be able to survive longer.
Yeah, totally. David Blaine, holding his breath underwater while being chained up. You can't do something like that if your heart is going out of control crazy, because that makes you require more oxygen, and it makes you create more carbon dioxide in your body. So some of the techniques that they do are kind of going against some of the conventional wisdom that's out there. And the main one that we combat is that carbon dioxide is a waste product. So, everyone thinks you breathe in oxygen, you breathe out carbon dioxide, and that's because you don't want carbon dioxide. But the studies that I was talking about earlier, they're showing that without carbon dioxide, you're not able to actually use the oxygen that you take in. It stays in your blood and doesn't go into the cells of your body. So a huge problem with youth high school sports is that the kids have a really low tolerance to CO2. Okay, so when you hold your breath, for example, the pain that you're feeling, that's not from your body not having enough oxygen. because the body actually doesn't have receptors that really let you know that. That's at a cellular level, and the body can't really tell if it has enough oxygen. The pain that comes from gassing out or running out of air is actually your body having a reaction to the carbon dioxide levels that are building up. So that's the body's way of telling you that you're tired. And it's a catch-22 because your body actually needs the carbon dioxide in order to use the oxygen. So it's actually a psychological battle that a lot of these kids are facing, because they feel the pain in their body that says, I am gassing out, this is a problem. But in reality, it's that CO2 building up that's making them have better endurance. So there's a lot of exercise to improve that threshold of carbon dioxide tolerance that we do with our wrestlers and our combat athletes that, takes them that next level of endurance.
What are some success stories that you've seen from from wrestlers on the mat, as far as somebody found out about the program, signed up for it, went through the process with you, and they came back and they were like, no, holy shit, it did this for me, or you saw them do whatever they have done, or what they accomplished, something. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Well, let's see. So we had this kid, his name's Michael, and he was feeling like having a falling out with wrestling when I met him. He basically didn't have good strategies for handling his the stress of wrestling, and it was just, it's a grind, man. It's like high school wrestlers, they're doing 3 matches a week or more, and some of those are dual meets, tri meets, tournaments. They're wrestling a lot, and they're actually like, they're waking up the day, maybe even the day before a match, with nerves and jitters, and that is taking over their experience of wrestling. So we taught this guy Michael, we taught him a few breathing techniques. One's called the 4-7-8 breath, and I'm actually going to teach that to you guys today. It's really quick, easy exercise. And Michael told me that he was on the brink of quitting, and I met him and taught him a few exercises and went through some meditations with him. And he actually went on to start really enjoying wrestling. It didn't have the same stress level, and he went on to win his county championship. And he says that he not only uses it in wrestling and sports, but he uses these techniques before tests or before times that he's starting to feel nervous. It's a life skill that he's learned, and that's like so powerful for me, because I know that wrestling is an avenue for athletes to build virtue in their life and to become more resilient in life. So that's really powerful to me, to hear that from a wrestler. And then we had one other wrestler on his team, actually, and he, even outside of wrestling, was suffering from panic attacks. And he was having regular panic attacks, and a lot of them were induced by the nerves that come from wrestling. And he said he hasn't experienced a single anxiety attack since he started the program, and he's able to fall asleep faster because of these breath techniques. So not only is he competing at a higher level, but he now has techniques to take better care of his body and stop himself from having these anxiety attacks that have been really a big problem for him.
Nice. So a lot of it you incorporate meditation, right?
Yeah. Meditation has it's typically confused in people's minds on what it is,
Like sitting cross like this.
Yeah, like the Zen. We call ourselves Zen warriors, and I named it that because it is a way to bring that relaxed Zen state into combat, into your waking life. So yeah, meditation is a big part of what we do. It's meditation and breath work. So breath work is basically breathing in a controlled environment where you have the set number of seconds you breathe in, and seconds that you hold or breathe out, and you use your nose or your mouth. And we use those methods a lot to bring people into a place where they can meditate. So there's a lot going on in the nervous system that I'm sure I know that you've had other guests on your show talk about, like predator mindset, and talk about, how your mind flips a switch where you're now in fight or flight mode. And then your body has these different processes that go on. And the breath work is meant to relax you and put you into a place where you can now, have a reaction of your choosing. So we do some breath work to get us ready for meditation. And then the meditation it's not what everyone thinks, which is just you're completely emptying your mind. Like, that's absolutely impossible. Actually, the mind was not built to shut off. You shut your mind off when you're dead.
Some people have some empty minds.
They do, but they're probably going, they're going, their minds are going, whether they, the stuff that comes out of their mouths is helpful or not.
Sure.
But yeah, so a lot of people think that meditation is, blank, not thinking about anything. But in reality, meditation is thinking about one or two things and really focusing on that. And often those things are the sensations of the breath, which is, a really fundamental animal instinct of the human body. The breath. The humans are one of the few animals that can actually control their breath. Most animals just breathe and they have no conscious thought of it. And humans are one of 2 or 3 animals that can actually say, I'm breathing in now, I'm breathing out now. And it controls your brain waves, and it controls your heart. So when we start off with meditation, we basically just have our athletes focus on the breath. You're focusing on one thing. And that allows the inner chatter of your mind to kind of just have a focus point, so that you're able to use the techniques that we're talking about for an actual purpose. And that is usually to release tension. Okay. Because you store tension in your body, whether you like it or not. A lot of people hold it in their necks and their backs. And, what's happening is their body's like tense and flexing at all times. It's not helpful to the body. When you're relaxed, when you choose to tense and flex and exert yourself, you have more power, because there's a bigger discrepancy between relaxation and tension. So a lot of the meditation,
I had to move stuff around. I was like, oh, this is great. I'm going to that Zen mindset right now.
Yeah. The Zen mindset is where you should live your life, man.
Yeah. I agree. I've had anxiety my whole life. So it's something that I have tried to raise my kids to avoid, because I know how bad it is for me, or how bad it's been. I don't know if it's just, I don't know why it is. It just always had a worry in my mind, anxiety really bad. So,
well, that's, the reason why you have that, and why millions and millions of people have that, is because our minds and bodies are still running on the program of, a body that was built for tens, thousands of years ago, hundreds of thousands of years ago. We really haven't evolved all that much physically in that time. And in that time, there was physical threats all the time that humans had to deal with. Predators, they were actually being hunted. You know, there was times when a lion could actually kill you at any time. And that was a real threat. So the body had to create, you know, we had to create systems for getting stressed out so that we could run away from those predators. And that those, you know, in today's age, we're not really, it's not a problem anymore. You know, we're not being hunted down anymore. But
I haven't run from any lions lately.
what are you running from these days?
Yeah, no lions. I'm not running from anything now because I'm sitting here doing shows, so I'm doing good. But
Yeah, but your mind doesn't know that. You know, your mind thinks that it's under attack from things like deadlines and pressures from work, money problems, tests, expectations from you know, teachers, from your boss. These are the new predators of our day, and there's no way to shake that because it's pretty constant. It's a stress that doesn't go away. So our bodies that are built for, you know, running away from animals and protecting ourselves physically are now taking these psychological and emotional stresses that don't ever subside. So we need to create tools that allow us to shake it off. You know, I don't know if you've ever seen like a deer after, you know, escaping a prey, they have this like shaking thing they do. They shake it off.
maybe if I watch the maybe in those animal, you know, the National Geographic stuff.
Yeah. Right after escaping, they're just, you know, relaxed after they do their little shake. It's like a spasm thing, and this is what they do to shake off that stress. And humans don't really have that ability as well as animals like a deer, antelope. You know, they are, we internalize it, and then it comes into our body and we're just tense all the time. So the goal of meditation and breath work is to remind your body and remind your mind that you're safe, you know, and that is really what releases that anxiety, where your mind is just programmed to think that I need to stay vigilant. I need to stay stressed out because I have to protect myself. And it's just not true anymore. It's not the case.
So that's a good thing, right? You're teaching kids and young men and young ladies how to not have that issue. So it's good because anxiety is not good for anyone to have. So
well,
yeah.
it actually is good, but it has to be within, you know, a short time of when the actual danger is. So in a wrestling match, if you're getting hyped up and nervous more than an hour before your match, you're kind of like wasting that mental and physical energy. You want to be nervous and anxious and excited right before your match. You want to get hyped up, but if you stay hyped up through the whole day, you're not going to get that same level of performance, and your brain's going to be just tired from out all day, you know?
I think you hear that from fighters too, not just wrestlers, but boxers and MMA guys. If I'm not nervous walking up to a ring or a mat or a thing, something's wrong, right? I should have the butterflies. I should have that feeling that it's about to go down. So pretty cool. So you had mentioned that you were going to teach us some breathing techniques.
Yeah, sure. I do this this technique every day personally, at least twice. Every night before I go to sleep, I'm doing this one. And it's called the 4-7-8 breath. It's one of the pillars of the Zen warrior mindset program. And me personally, it gets me ready to meditate. It gets me ready to be in that zone. So the gist of it is you breathe in and out completely, okay? And you find a place where you can relax, where your back is supported. So I see you sitting down in a chair, that's perfect. You know, you don't have to be in that, like, what this thing, it's actually pretty uncomfortable for a lot of people, and you have to train your body for a long time to be comfortable there. So you can just sit in a normal chair, a lot of my wrestlers and athletes sit on the floor with their backs against the wall. Very common. All right. So you breathe in and out normally. Okay. Then you breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds. You hold your breath for 7 seconds, and you breathe out through your mouth for 8 seconds. Okay. So I'm gonna actually go through that with you right now, and everyone listening along that you can listen. When you are going through that breath hold period, try not to get super tense. Being able to relax while you're holding your breath is going to let that release, that 8-second release, be even more powerful and relaxing. Okay, so the more relaxed that you stay the whole time, the more you're going to get out of this exercise. Okay, so you're breathing in for 4, hold for 7, out for 8, and just like relaxing, letting all the tension and stress come out of your body. Okay, so for those that are following along, go ahead and just get comfortable for a second, shake it out a little bit, get your back supported in your chair or cushion. Okay, and we're going to breathe all the way in and out. And we'll start. Ready, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, and in, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And in, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and release. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just take a few breaths normally now as you continue to let the tension release and let your body just relax and relax. So when you're here, you're just letting all your tension go.
You could feel the difference in just feel so relaxed.
Yeah, it's amazing. And this is your body shutting off its flight or fight response and just getting into that rest and relaxation mode. That's so important. That helps your body, digest food, helps your body relax, helps your body not have that physical tension holding of the stress from, your day of being stressed out about work, about school, about life. This is something that you can do anytime that your heart starts to race, anytime that your mind starts to go. It helps you slow down and just relax. It's been super powerful for a lot of our students.
It was really, it was pretty awesome. I remember as a kid, we would do the competitions where who can hold their breath the longest underwater.
Yeah.
And I remember I'd always try to tell myself, okay, relax. And then I would try to lie to my brain so I could stay under there longer than the other person. And
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of that is just relaxing, going, okay, I'm not going to let myself die, so I'll just hold my breath until I can't anymore, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's funny that you brought up breath holding, because breath holding is a tactic that's used in building that carbon dioxide tolerance that I was talking about earlier. When you can tolerate more carbon dioxide, which is what's building up as you're holding your breath, you can hold your breath for longer, and you have less pain associated with being out of breath or being gassed out. So we've developed along with some like pioneers in the field of breath science, people like James Nestor, people like Brian McKenzie, Patrick McCowan. There's a great book called The Oxygen Advantage that I'd recommend to a lot of wrestlers. This is techniques like walking, seeing how far you can hold your breath while you walk, and building up that tolerance, which is going to help your endurance, on the wrestling mat. Things like going for a run, but only breathing through your nose. Okay. And that also builds up your CO2 tolerance, because you can't breathe as fast in and out through your nose as you can through your mouth. So that's actually a good thing, to be forced to breathe less, because you're forcing your body to retain more carbon dioxide, which, like I said earlier, is helping you use that oxygen. For those that are interested in the science of what's happening there, you breathing through your nose is so much more effective for getting the oxygen into your cells than breathing through your mouth. There's a psychological response that happens when you breathe through your mouth that tells your body, I may be under attack. This is stressful. I need to get out of danger. And also there's biochemicals that are created in the nose. One of them is called nitric oxide. And nitric oxide helps your body utilize the oxygen. It actually opens up the pathways for blood and oxygen in your body. It's a vasodilator, is what it's called. So breathing through the nose is much more effective than breathing through the mouth when it comes to utilizing oxygen. So running only through your nose is not only powerful because you are training your body to be able to handle less air coming in and out, and you're using a more efficient way, but also it's psychological, because you get that panicky feeling where you're not getting enough oxygen, you're having air hunger, which is, if you allow it to stress you out and make you panic, your heart rate is going to increase, your muscles are going to tense, and your blood pathways are going to constrict, which makes you not use oxygen as well and not get enough in. So if you train like that and you start to become comfortable with not having as much air as you can get, it's really powerful when you're in a match and you are, physically tired, but that feeling, of lactic acid buildup is not happening as strong. And the mental issue of saying oh my God, I am about to die here. Your body actually has thoughts that say, I'm about to die.
Yeah, and that's what the Navy SEALs go through. They put them through those breathing, the same thing you're talking about, where they bring them underwater to do, and they put them through these breathing techniques, so that when because a lot of times they got to be underwater when they're doing whatever it is that they're doing.
Totally.
And they push them to the brink of almost blacking out. And some do, but they get picked up and brought back up. But it trains their mind to relax and understand that what you're saying, you're not going to die here. You understand how to control your breath.
Yeah.
You have people around you that aren't going to let you die if you black out. They got you. And so pretty serious if the Navy SEALs are doing it too, right?
Yeah, the Navy SEALs they're doing all this stuff. I've researched the Navy SEALs a lot, and they actually have a lot of research that they've done about flow states and how to get in the zone. Team cohesion is big with the SEALs, and there's a great book called Chasing Fire that I read, and they're talking a lot about what you're talking about. And basically, your body can handle so much more stress than your mind is able to handle. I'm sure a lot of people have said that over the years, that you can handle so much more than you think you can handle. But it's like, it's hard to understand that when you're in so much physical pain from your exertion. These kids are like, me as a high school wrestler, it was the worst. The pain was really bad, but the fear of being in that physical pain was really what did me in. I had a lot of success in high school, but I was definitely limited by the thought that, man, this sucks. I want to be done with this. Like, I'm sure a lot of wrestlers are feeling that at the end of the season. They're just maybe even frustrated that they've worked so hard, but they're still not quite there with that endurance. And what's very likely happening, and what was happening with me, was that my endurance was there. I was running miles, when there was no pressure, really low times. I was running like a 5:30 mile or something like that, but I couldn't outlast the first period. And the reason is that I just had this mental block that once I started to get that pain in my chest, it was this tensing thing that happened to me, and I see happening to a lot of wrestlers, that really just does them in. At that point, they're not able to, you're tense. It actually limits the amount of volume your body can expand to bring in oxygen.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, I don't think, not for me, I'm not a wrestler, but I'm around them because my son and everything. And
Yeah.
I don't think people realize how much work it is to go 7 minutes in a wrestling match.
Yeah.
Even though it's 2 minutes, how much work and energy you put off to get out of a head and arm, or to get into a move, or to get up off your back, or to get out of harm's way and wrestle, right? Or to hold somebody down. You exert a lot of energy doing that. So it's not like, okay, sure, you may be able to go run a mile in whatever and then sit down and be fine, but run that mile trying to fight somebody off and push something off your back and so it's a whole different animal, right?
It is a different animal. And I've thought about this a lot, and I've trained with a lot of athletes about this. And the big difference is when you're running, you have full freedom to maintain the flow of your breath at whatever rate that you'd like. You can breathe in for a few steps and breathe out for a few steps. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. So there's 2 recommendations that I have for this. The first is that you really want to use the right breath mechanics that the body was intended to. So this is the number one issue that I see in wrestlers, in people actually, that are having endurance issues. It's that when they breathe, they're using this upper chest area to breathe instead of their diaphragm and their lower abdomen. So this is so common in the world. You see wrestlers breathe like this, or they're up like this. And what's happening is you're not using the diaphragm, which is the breathing muscle. Okay. So if you're breathing in and your stomach comes in and your chest comes out like this, you are only doing about half of the volume available in your breathing system. Okay. So I'm going to actually turn this way so you can see. Okay. So what you should do is breathe down into your belly, and your diaphragm goes down and fills up your belly and fills up your back. So a good breath should look like this. And as you release, your shoulders should not come up, and you should be focused on breathing in a 360 as much as you can. You fill up the bottom area of your lungs first, and then you fill up your chest. A lot of wrestlers I see are so tight in here, and they're breathing just like up in here. And it's got to be a quarter of what your body can actually breathe in when you're able to breathe with the right mechanics. And when you do breathe like that, your heart rate goes down, your veins and capillaries, they are able to expand, and you're able to use the breath like you're supposed to. Like infant babies do when they come out the womb, they breathe like that. They breathe diaphragmatically. Somehow over the course of being human, we get stressed out, and it goes into our shoulders and our neck, and we start to get just like that. And I see so many wrestlers that they're not ready to breathe correctly. So it's a big problem. And if you continue to breathe like that, you're going to have hypertension, anxiety attacks. You're going to live a tougher life. And it's such a simple change. Start breathing down into your belly and back. So that's the first, easy fix that. If your kid or you as a wrestler are not breathing down into your belly and filling up with the inhale, you are doing yourself a disservice. And the second thing is, as wrestlers and combat athletes, we are in positions where someone's on top of you, or you're in a hold where a tight waist, for example, where you can't breathe down into your belly. So for me and a lot of wrestlers in high school, it was like, if I tried to breathe and I was physically restricted, I got a lot of anxiety, and it was almost like I would unravel from that. If you've ever seen that happen, where your wrestler is doing really well, he's crushing it, and then some move happens and it's like they just hit a wall. It's like they tried to breathe and they put a lot of effort into breathing, and they were constricted. And then there's this mental spiral that happens from having that restricted breathing. So my recommendation for that is start to practice how you're going to breathe in situations where someone is restricting your breath. Having a tight waist and trying to breathe like that, there's plenty of room in your back where your lungs can expand. There's plenty of room in your chest where your lungs can expand. There's a lot of practice that you can do to get ready for something like that. And there's, really ancient yoga techniques that will help you do this. The yoga techniques where your knee is actually in your chest, your hands up, so your body is tilted. Now you can't breathe straight down into your belly. You now have to breathe in a more creative way, and that requires your body to be relaxed. You have to be not tense. And if you're tense while you try to breathe like that, you're going to get just a sip of air. So we do a lot of yoga. It's modified yoga, and you can do whatever way you like, but basically you're putting your body in a position where you can't breathe deep breaths. You have to breathe, with something blocking you, just like you do in wrestling.
Sure. Well, man, this has been really cool. I appreciate you coming on, and hey, this is Ross Lewin with Zen Warrior Mindset. He's got a code out there right now, 25% off today with Ward Wrestling Live. Go on his site, check it out. All his breathing stuff is on there. His tools, there's videos. Watch them, check it out. Really good stuff. I'm sure we could go on for hours with this process. But my wife would be upset if I don't make it to dinner. But man, this has been cool. A couple of books that he mentioned, The Oxygen Advantage, Chasing Fire, a couple good books. He says go out there and check them out. And of course, go on his site. There's some things there that you can look at and do. And there's kind of a free where you sign up and you get kind of like something for free. And then
yeah, we have a 10-minute body scan meditation that's free. You just give us your email, we'll send it to you. This is really common for people to have that first really great meditation experience, where the meditation is focused around focusing on parts of your body and releasing tension from your body part by part. It gives you something to think about. You don't have to clear your mind completely. and it's actually me guiding you through it. So you'll have some direction on how to do it.
Very cool. All right. Well, like I do it every time, 10 questions. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Steamed, for anyone who doesn't know, he's from Maryland. So these questions are all about Maryland. Steamed crabs or soft shell crabs?
Steamed crabs, for sure.
The orange crush or the snowball?
I'm gonna go with the snowball.
Crab cakes or pit beef?
Crab cakes, definitely.
Smith Island cake or burger cookies?
Oh yeah, the Baltimore burger cookies. Definitely.
Definitely. They look like black and whites on steroids.
Amazing.
The Fisher popcorn or the Utz crab chips?
Oh my God, I think I had Fisher popcorn like 2 days ago. I love that stuff.
All right.
I was just down at Ocean City and I tried that. It was so good.
Nice. Maryland crab soup or cream of crab soup?
Maryland crab. Red all the way.
Crab dip or Thrasher fries?
Man, you can go wrong with crab dip. Let me just say that. And you can't go wrong with Thrasher fries. So
It did look good. Coddies or rockfish?
I don't know what coddies are. So rockfish.
Yeah, it looked like a ball of cod. I don't know. It was on the Maryland top 20. I don't know. Look at it. All right. The Krabby Bloody Mary or the Natty Bow?
Wow. I love a Krabby Bloody Mary, and Natty Boh is like my college. That was college for me, but I can't look at it now. So I'm gonna go with the Bloody Mary.
Yeah, you had enough Natty Bows, huh?
Yeah, right. For a lifetime.
Yeah. All right. The Maryland Crab Imperial or the stuffed ham?
Imperial.
Man, I want to go to Maryland now after reading all that good stuff, man.
Yeah, we have like a few other things other than crabs, you know.
Yeah, not really. Well, you got the Orioles, the Ravens,
Nationals and Capitals. Just we got good teams over here.
and a great seaquarium down there on the
National Aquarium.
There used to be a really cool. Is ESPN still down there? There used to be a big like ESPN zone.
Oh no, they got rid of that a while ago.
Yeah, I mean that was 2003, 2004. I was there.
ESPN zone up in the Inner Harbor. Yeah.
Yeah, it was right like catty corner from the aquarium or whatever.
Yep.
That was a good time there. It was a good little area.
Yeah, the Inner Harbor is great. I used to live right there. I lived in Little Italy, Baltimore for about 6 years.
Yeah, I mean, easy to get to too. There was like a garage right there across the street, and you just park and go. We did hit an Orioles game once while we were up in Philly. We came down. I think I had the biggest. It was like a crab cake the size of a softball out in center field. Sold these big crab cakes, man. It was fun. And then
nice.
We went down to the old General Motors headquarters, where the old General Motors headquarters were at the time.
Okay.
And it was like these warehouse districts. And I don't know, we found this place and we walked in and they threw paper down and they came out with these crabs and they just chucked them on the table and they were everywhere and you just made a mess of everything. And that was.
Have you ever tried Old Bay?
Yes, I love Old Bay.
Old Bay is where it's at.
Yeah. Old Bay's good on, man, anything.
Everything. Put on everything.
You know what's good is there's like this Louisiana breadcrumbs, but it's done with like Old Bay and seasoning and stuff like that. And God, I can't remember the name of it, but man,
Hush puppies.
Yeah, I better go down and eat dinner because my man boobs are growing talking about this.
Yeah.
But this was awesome, man. It's cool. I don't get to talk to a lot of people about these breathing techniques and stuff, and I hope that people out there take advantage of it and check out his stuff, check out your stuff, and we'll put some stuff on my Facebook page for easier access to you guys. We'll put it up in the offer section or whatever, and you guys can check it out. Again, man, go check it out. He's got a little 10-minute free session you can go through. If you don't like it, don't buy it. If it works for you, buy it, right? And do your things like anything else, right? But
Yeah, gotta keep an open mind.
Yeah, I think you'll see some value in it and move forward. But I appreciate it. If anybody out there has used his program and is listening to this, please, shout it out, put it in the comments, let people know that it works. Other than that, peace, man. It's been good. I love it. Keep kicking life's ass, man, and doing your thing. And I know is your brother coaching now, or is he just doing this with you?
Oh yeah, he coaches as well. He's doing a whole bunch of different stuff. But I really appreciate that you having me on, man. And I think you're doing a great thing for the wrestling world. And as someone who really values wrestling as a way to improve young athletes and their lives, I really appreciate the work that you're doing.
Yeah, thank you, man. Any of your local clubs up there in Maryland, or anybody that you want to get their voice heard, man, just send them my link and let's do it, man.
Okay, awesome.
All right, brother. You take it easy and have a great night.
All right, thank you.
Crab cakes and Bloody Marys.
That's right.
Up into Maryland, and some thrash fries.
All right.